Have you ever wondered which fantasy creature is mostly linked to your personality? This quiz will spill the tea. Pick your answers and don't forget to count your score. The results will be waiting for you at the end of the video. Finally, your dreams come true. You got an invitation letter from a secret magic academy. Which design would you prefer? Option A adds 3 points to your score. B costs 2. Answer C is worth 1 point. D brings you 4 points. And option E costs 0 points. You've arrived at the academy. Time to choose your room. Option A brings you 1 point. B is worth 2 points. C brings you 0 points. Option D adds 4 points to your score. And E brings you 3 points. Which of your senses do you most rely on? Eyesight is worth 4 points. If you choose hearing, add 2 points to your score. Scent brings you 3 points. Touch is worth 0 points. And taste brings you 1 point. With whom would you rather pick as your roommate? A brings 3 points to your score. Answer B costs 1 point. C brings you 2 points. If you chose D, add 4 points to your basket. And E costs 0. Which combination seems more attractive to you? Earth plus fire brings you 4 points. Air plus water adds 1 point to your score. If you picked fire and water, grab 3 points. Water and earth cost 0, and the fire plus air combination brings you 2 points. The lessons begin. Time to choose your first school crush. Who would you rather fall in love with? Option A costs 0. B brings you 3 points. C costs 4 points. D brings you 2 points. And E is worth 1 point. Let's go to the school canteen. What would you like for lunch? A chocolate bar with coffee brings you 4 points. If you picked cherry pie, add 1 point to your score. Sandwiches cost 0 points. A burger with fries brings you 2 points. And if you choose the sushi set, grab 3 points. Suddenly, your crush offers to go for a walk. Where would you like to go? Option A adds 1 point to your score. B costs 3 points. Answer C is worth 4 points. D brings you 2 points. And option E costs 0 points. During your walk, you see a flower. Which one? Orchid costs 3 points. If you picked lilies, grab 1 point. Daisy brings you 2 points. Rose costs 4 points. And Peon adds 0 points to your score. Your teacher offers you 5 out-of-school activities. What would you rather choose? Choir brings you 3 points. Pottery costs 0. Dragon riding brings you 2 points. Drama club is worth 1 point. And fencing adds 4 points to your score. What's your weakness? If you picked arrogance, take 1 point. Anger brings you 2 points. Laziness is worth 0. Lust is worth 3 points. And cynicism is worth 4 points. Your first week at the Magic Academy is over. What would you like to do on the weekend? Hide from everyone and meditate. Just stay in my room and chill. Go on a date, obviously. Gather my new friends and watch movies. Hiking in the woods. A brings you 4 points. B costs 0 points. Answer C costs 3 points. D brings you 1 point. If you chose E, add 2 points to your basket. The school bully pulls a prank on you. How would you react? Just give me 5 minutes and he'll be my bestie. I'll just run to my room and cry. What bully? I'm the main bully here. Revenge is a dish better served cold. I'll figure out his weakness and use it against him. A costs 3 points. Answer B is worth 0. C is worth 2 points. D brings you 1 point. And E adds 4 points to your score. What magic discipline is likely to be your favorite? Option A costs 4 points. B brings you 3 points. C costs 2 points. D brings you 0 points. And E adds 1 point to your score. Which magic tool attracts you the most? Option A adds 2 points to your score. B costs 4 points. Answer C is worth 3 points. D brings you 1 point. And option E costs 0 points. You need to choose one of these 5 magical animals as your faculty mascot. Whom would you prefer? If you pick the serpent, take 1 point. The phoenix brings you 4 points. The unicorn is worth 2 points. The mermaid costs 3 points. And the dragon brings you 0 points. The Academy will soon host a masquerade ball. Which mask will you choose to wear? Venetian Classic brings you 3 points. The animal mask is worth 2 points. This creepy doctor mask is worth 1 point. Sad clown mask costs 0. And if you chose this cyberpunk option, add 4 points to your score. You enter a secret room by accident and face a magical mirror that reflects the dark side of one's soul. Which reflection looks like your inner bad guy? Option A is worth 0 points. B costs 3 points. And option C costs 4 points. Answer D is worth 1 point. E brings you 0 points. You enter the next room and see a mirror that reflects your biggest dream. Which one looks like yours? Option A adds 2 points to your score. B costs 3 points. Answer C is worth 1 point. D brings you 0 points. And option E costs 4 points. Ready for the results? Make sure to calculate your score correctly, and let's go! Congratulations! You have extraordinary mental abilities. You can read people like books. It's almost impossible to deceive you. That's why other people treat you with respect and admiration. Although your talent can make you a little cynical, don't rush to turn to the dark side. It's good to know everything, but leaving the door open to miracles is even better. People might surprise you in good ways too. If you got 45 to 60 points, ooh la la, you're a siren, a mysterious sea creature which can charm everyone with its singing. Your bright and sweet vibe can chase away all despair. People can't help but fall in love with you at first sight. That's why you shouldn't have problems with making friends or succeeding in your career. But remember, with great power comes great responsibility. You're blessed with the gift of a siren song to inspire others, not to manipulate them. You have a dual personality, just like a werewolf. On the one hand, you're a warm-hearted and charismatic person with a great sense of humor. But on the other hand, you can get really harsh if someone violates your boundaries or offends your family. Passion is your profession. You do things with genuine dedication, which helps you succeed in life. People perceive you as either a great, loving friend or as a dangerous enemy. You can easily be the soul of your tribe if you learn to control your instincts and show your teeth only when necessary. Vampires make the greatest leaders. Unlike most people, you realize the real worth of life force and time. This talent allows you to guide others towards higher productivity and joy. Your intuition always tells which project will flourish and which one will only drain your energy. That's why you act carefully and precisely like a surgeon. Friends might call you unpredictable and gloomy, but don't worry. They're in love with your sophisticated taste and independent personality. If your score is between 0 to 15 points, your mind is probably super peaceful and stable. You might take your time to make a decision, but when it's made, it's carved in stone. So if you ever feel stuck in life, just try new things and embrace the unknown. When it comes to group work, you're the person who makes things happen. That's why people see you as a loyal and trustworthy friend who's always there to support them and give wise advice. By the way, you can make a great principal of the Magic Academy. Think about it.
Hey, want to learn some magic? You won't become a Houdini or David Copperfield yet, but that's where the adventure starts. By the end of the video, you will know how to do 10 magic tricks. Best part about it is that you need nothing but your hands. You ready? We'll go from the simpler ones to cooler ones. Let's start with the basics. The most common trick is to make your thumb disappear and then put it back again. Look, I'll show you. Cool, huh? So let me teach you this now. The thing is that it's not one thumb, it's two. So hold your hand like this so that you can see your palm. Stretch the fingers, but put the thumb down below the line of your hand. Now use the other hand. Bend the thumb and attach it to the other hand this way. Place the index finger over so that you hide the gap. Now it looks like it's just one thumb, and that's the whole point. Now, when you move your hand from the front view, it will look like you pull half of the thumb away. Practice moving your hand to the side, back and forth, removing the thumb and putting it back. Once you put the thumb back, grab the original thumb and rotate it up. You'll have to train a bit to make it convincing, but you know the drill now. Practice makes perfect. Again, here's what it looks like. Another easy thing to learn is the illusion that you only have 4 fingers. Look, here they are. The thumb, the middle finger, the ring finger, and the pinky. There's no index finger. This is simple. Just bend your index finger and then cover it up with the other 3 in the thumb. And then just place your hand so that no one can see the other part of the finger that you couldn't cover. Easy peasy. Let's move on. Watch. The dot on the middle finger changes into a line. The key is that you should draw both of them, one on one edge of the finger and the other on the other edge. First, press your ring finger against the middle one and let it be just a bit above to hide the line. Put the index finger a bit below the middle finger's level to make the dot visible. So they see the dot. Then shake your hand. In that moment, change the position of the fingers. Now the one that was above hiding the line goes down to reveal it, while the other one that was revealing the dot should go higher to cover it up. Now they see the line instead. Now watch closely and try to figure out what's wrong. So I can twist the index finger around. What do you think is the catch here? I bet you think that I'm using the index finger of the other hand, but nope, not true. Things are way simpler here. Use a Sharpie's cap to put a circle print on the tip of your index finger. It kind of looks like a nail. So yeah, no other fingers required. People will just assume that's an actual nail. Now to how to turn your hands. Place the hand with the fake nail up front, so that the palm faces you and the nails face the spectator. Place the other hand over it this way, with the palm facing the spectator and the thumb going between the index finger and the middle finger. Close the hand and rotate it, so that the palm now faces the spectator. Open the fist so that the other fingers of the palm are covered. The fake nail will create an illusion that you twisted the index finger. Close the hand again and rotate one more time to twist the finger back to normal. Hey, look what I can do! Yeah, I can bend my pinky finger this much. Yeah, I do have bones there. It's just an illusion. Let me show you how to do this. With the palm of one of your hands facing the spectator, use the index finger of your other hand to push your pinky finger right in the middle. You should really focus on pushing its skin in particular because it helps the illusion. Then, using the thumb, push the top of the pinky down and a bit to the side. Together with pulled skin, it creates the illusion that you bend your pinky unnaturally. I can make my pinky shrink. And yeah, of course, I can make it grow back afterwards. It's easy to learn, so here's what I do. In reality, I just make it bend like this. To hide it, just put the thumb of the other hand over it and use your index finger to support the top part of the pinky from behind. Then just bend your pinky. The prolonged part of your thumb will cover the action. Then pull it back. Look, this one is cooler. This is way more visual, and it actually looks like magic. It requires some practice, but it's not too hard to learn, so let me teach you. First, you need to practice doing one thing, putting the tip of your pinky on the bottom knuckle of the ring finger. You should practice it until it starts to feel natural, because that's how you'll hide the pinky. Once you've learned that, you can move on to the next step, and that is placing your hand correctly for the spectator. The index finger is the front finger the spectator sees, and right after it comes the middle finger. These two should be placed below the ring finger so that the pinky can hide behind them when you put it on the ring finger's knuckle. Be sure to arrange the fingers properly and to be comfortable keeping them in this position. Next, removing the finger. Use the four fingers of your other hand and put them between the pinky and the ring finger. Rotate the hand around, creating the illusion that you're taking the pinky away. Once your four fingers cover up the pinky, put it on the ring finger's knuckle. Then move the hand away. The pinky disappears. To bring it back, put the other hand back and, while covering that part of your hand, bring the pinky back. You can find your own movements to make it look more impressive and make the illusion stronger. Practice and you'll get there. Look, here is another disappearing pinky trick. It won't be hard to learn because you already know part of this. Again, the angle is important. You have to place your index and middle fingers so that you can hide your pinky finger behind them like you just learned. Make sure you can still place the tip of your pinky on the bottom knuckle of the ring finger. The other thing you should learn is placing your ring and middle fingers on your thumb just like this. Make sure it goes naturally. Here's how the trick goes. hide your pinky finger. Holding the thumb, middle, and ring fingers this way, just place them where the pinky should be. The ring finger will appear as if it's the other hand's pinky. Shake it a bit to create an illusion that you're taking the pinky off, and then lift those 3 fingers. Don't wait too long, give it a moment and then place the 3 fingers back and quickly return the real pinky. Look at this! A hand literally passes right through the other one. Let me show it to you again. See? You can learn to make this illusion too, and here's how. The secret is that the hand that passes through is still that same front hand. Look, I'll do this again. Look at the thumb, it's on this side. The thumb on my other hand is on the opposite side. Let me do it again. Watch the thumb. See? It seemed like the hand passed through the front one, but the thumb is still on the same side it was. It's the same hand. Place one of your hands, I'll go with the left one, in front of you with your palm facing the spectator. Make sure that all the fingers are open and have a lot of space between one another. The other hand has the palm turned away from you. It goes behind the hand in front just like this. The fingers should come through the fingers of the front hand freely, with the little finger being in between the front thumb and index finger. So, what you do is keep the front hand in front of you, and as the other hand approaches it, the fingers go through each other and then you squeeze them a bit. Then, you put the back hand back and do it again, the second time, and pull it away again. Now, the third time. And here's where the trick works. Once again, you put the hand the same way. Close the fingers of the hand on the back. Then you should reopen the fingers of the back hand and close the ones of the front hand instead. Then you also pull the back hand away and move the front hand forward. For the illusion to work smoothly, it should happen fast and naturally. You might need a bit of practice, but once you master it, it really looks like you can make your hands pass through one another. The last one is the trick of a coin that travels from one hand to the other. Look, this one is the hardest one for today, and you'll need some time to master it so it looks smooth. Of course, the secret is you will need 2 coins, one in either hand, but making it work will require a lot of training. You hide one coin in your palm. The other coin in the other palm you show to the spectator. Now, you have to practice making the coin slide naturally back into your palm. Keep the fingers of the hand up to hide the coin from the spectator. At the same time, slide the coin in the other hand up to show it to the spectator. If you make these 2 motions at the same time, the illusion will work. Take your time to learn how to do it smoothly, and you're a certified magician. Have you ever looked at magicians and thought excitedly, how is it even possible? But what if I told you that you could do no worse? All incredible magic tricks have explanations, and some of them are so simple that you can easily repeat them at home to baffle your friends and family members. A sugar cube number. For this magic trick, you'll need a pencil, a sugar cube, a glass of water, and some audience. Ask a volunteer to pick a number from 1 to 10. Then use the pencil to write the chosen number on the sugar cube. Pick the cube up, and while doing it, discreetly squeeze it against your thumb. The pencil core is made up of graphite, which sticks to human skin very well. That's why the number will get transferred to your finger. Drop the sugar cube into the water and let it melt. Then ask the volunteer to wave their hand over the glass. After that, press your thumb against their hand. The number will magically transfer to their skin. A spoon bending trick. You can easily pretend to be one of the Matrix characters by bending a spoon and then returning it to its original state. Grab a spoon with both of your hands and position its bowl open side up against the table. Then pretend to be pressing on the spoon's handle. The hidden part of the spoon will be sliding through your hands until it ends up near the surface of the table. But to anyone watching, it will look as if you're bending the spoon. After that, take the spoon off the table with both of your hands and show your audience that it's unbent. Ice painted from the inside. Prepare some ice cubes and make several salt solutions mixed with different paints. Then tell your audience that you're going to color the ice cubes from the inside. With the help of a pipette, put a few drops of the solution on each ice cube. All the spectators will see is the ice gradually changing its color from the inside. But you'll know that at that moment, the salt is dissolving the ice, drilling tiny holes in it, and creating beautiful colorful patterns. Pepper and water. Pour water into a glass and sprinkle it with some ground pepper so that it's spread all over the water surface. Then ask someone from the audience to dip their finger into the water to make the pepper separate. Nothing will happen. After that, you say an incantation, put your own finger into the water, and the pepper rushes to the outer edges of the glass. Magic! Well, not really. No one knows that before dipping your finger in the water, you covered it with soap or dishwashing liquid. That's the secret of this trick. Dancing worms. For this super impressive magic trick, you'll need some cornstarch, food coloring, water, a thin metal baking tray, and a stereo subwoofer. Mix 2 cups of cornstarch with 1 cup of water and pour the mixture onto the tray. Then add several drops of food coloring and put the tray on the subwoofer. Make sure to press the tray against the subwoofer and switch on some loud music. You'll see colorful little worms dancing. A needle trick. Tell your audience that you can make a needle float on water. Everybody knows that since steel is denser than water, the needle's supposed to drown when placed in the water. But if you cover the needle with some grease, for example cooking oil, it won't let the needle go down. Voila! Your friends are thoroughly impressed. Age guessing. All you'll need to surprise people by guessing their age is a calculator. Pick a volunteer and ask them to punch in their age while hiding the screen from everyone. Then ask them to multiply this number by 2 and add 1 to the result. Tell them to multiply this number by 5 and then by 10. After that, ask the person to write the final number on a piece of paper and give it to you. Ignore the last 2 digits of the number you see. What's left is the volunteer's age. A levitating magic stick. Intrigue your audience by saying you can make a matchstick levitate. Then take an empty matchbox and poke the bottom part of the matchstick through the middle of the box so that it sticks upward right from the center. Lean another magic stick against the first one so that their tips are touching. Then use the third magic stick to light the point where the first 2 magic sticks are touching. In a few moments, the leaning magic stick will start to rise upward as if it's levitating. Even better, after you blow the flame out, it'll still be hanging in midair. The heat fuses the heads of the first 2 matches and makes the leaning one curl up. But your spectators don't need to know that. A flame without a shadow. Get yourself a flashlight, several matches, and some audience. Light a match while keeping it several inches away from the wall. Switch on the flashlight and shine it over your hand that's holding the match. On the wall, you'll see only the shadows created by your hand and the matchstick. The flame won't have a shadow. Fire doesn't cast shadows because, unlike physical materials, it doesn't prevent light from passing through. A levitating cup trick. All you need for this trick is a styrofoam cup and some practice. Make a hole in the side of the cup so that your thumb fits inside. Show the cup to your audience, but avoid flashing the side with the hole. Announce that you're going to make the cup levitate and discreetly push your thumb into the hole. Now, you just need to make magical movements with your other fingers. It'll look as if the cup is levitating in the air between your hands. Magic fire extinguisher. Mix white vinegar and baking soda in a cup and cover it until the mixture stops fizzling. After that, pretend you're pouring the air from the cup over a burning candle. This reaction produces a gas called carbon dioxide, which can put out a fire. Your audience will be amazed to see the flame going out seemingly on its own. Moving objects. Fill a plastic bottle with water and put inside some light object, for example, a piece of foil or a cover from McDonald's dipping sauce. Wait until the object sinks a bit and start making magical movements with one of your hands. Meanwhile, your other hand, positioned at the bottom of the bottle, should hold it in place. Your audience will see that the object moves up and down in the water following your orders. What they don't know is that you slightly press the bottle to make the object go up and release the pressure to make it go down. A skewer through a balloon. Take a medium-sized balloon filled with air, a wooden skewer, and a drop of vegetable oil or baby shampoo. Cover the skewer with the oil or shampoo and start to push it through the balloon. Be gentle but firm and keep pressing until the skewer breaks through the rubber. Your audience won't believe their eyes. The balloon hasn't burst. A coin inside a bottle. Cut a vertical slit in the side of a regular plastic bottle. The slit should be just large enough to let a quarter slip through. Opt for a bottle that has ridges. It'll help you to conceal all the necessary modifications. Show your audience the bottle and a coin, and count to 3 before slapping your coin-holding hand against the bottle. At this moment, you have to squeeze the coin inside the bottle as fast and discreetly as you can. With enough practice, the spectators will only notice the coin magically appear inside the bottle. A magnetic hand. Take a steel spoon and claim that you can magnetize your hand and make the spoon stick to it. Put the spoon on the table and move your left hand over it a couple of times. Then tightly grasp your left wrist with your right hand and pretend to be applying great pressure. At the same time, grab the spoon with your left hand and clutch it. Then slowly open your hand. The spoon seems to have stuck to your palm. Your spectators don't know that you've stretched your right hand index finger along your palm to support the spoon. Have some practice, and no one will guess that the magnetized spoon is just an illusion. A climbing ring. Take a key ring or a finger ring and a rubber band. After cutting or breaking the band and looping it through the ring, stretch it out between your hands. One of your hands should be higher than the other. Say an incantation, and your shocked audience will see the ring slowly climb upward. The secret is to stretch out only a relative small portion of the rubber band. The rest of it should be loose and tucked into the palm of your lower hand. As you're slowly letting this hidden part out, it'll look as if the ring's climbing up the rubber band on its own. A crayon trick. All you need for this trick is a box of multicolored crayons. Stand with your back facing the audience. Ask one person to pick a crayon and put it in your hands. Pretend to be examining it with your fingers, then turn to the audience with your hands still behind you. While distracting the audience with some bizarre incantation, scrape the crayon with your left thumbnail to transfer some wax under it. After that, while still keeping your right hand with the crayon behind your back, use your left hand to make some magical gestures. At the same time, you need to sneak a peek at your left thumbnail to figure out the crayon's color. Announce it to the audience, and don't forget to be mysterious. An egg in a bottle. To perform this trick, you'll need a boiled egg, a bottle with a neck that's smaller than the diameter of the egg, a drop of sunflower or olive oil, a thin strip of paper, and a lighter. Before performing the trick, cover the neck of the bottle with some oil. Then tell your audience that your magic is so powerful that you can make the egg squeeze through the neck of the bottle. Set the paper on fire and drop it to the bottom of the bottle. After that, very fast, put the egg on the neck of the bottle and listen to some dazzled wows as the spectators see the egg being pulled inside. The secret is simple. The flame burns the oxygen and reduces the pressure inside the bottle. Combined with the normal pressure outside, it makes the egg squeeze into the bottle. Turning a drink into cash. Cut a plastic or styrofoam cup in half and throw away the top part. Fill the bottom part with coins to the brim. Then take a bigger cup and make a hole in its bottom. It should be only big enough to let your finger squeeze through. Cover the bigger cup's bottom with a sponge and place the coin-filled mini cup inside. Then fill the cups with coffee or strong tea so that the liquid hides the coin. Now all you need to do is use your finger to push the smaller cup upward. The sponge will absorb the drink in the cup, and your audience will be surprised when they see coins appear out of nowhere. A mind reader. Choose a person from the audience and ask them to mentally pick some item in the room. After that, you leave the room, and the volunteer has to tell everyone else which item they've chosen. You return to the room and pick another, seemingly random person to help you. In truth, This person is far from random. It's your assistant, even though the audience knows nothing about this fact. Your mole goes from one object to another, touching each of them one by one. At one point, they touch something black, and you know that the next item will be the one you need. For your spectators, it looks like magic, but for you, it's just efficient teamwork. Turning water into ice. Take a bottle of water and put it in a freezer for about 2 to 3 hours. After you make sure the water is cold enough, take it out of the freezer, open the lid, and start pouring the water on something cold. For example, ice cubes in a bowl or an ice pack. Your friends will be shocked to see that you instantly turn water into ice. To make the process even more impressive, you can add some food coloring to the water or use fruit juice or Coke. Soda that changes its color. Take a paper cup filled with ice cubes and a bottle of clear soda, and tell your audience that you can make the drink change its color. Indeed, you pour the soda into the cup, and in a couple of seconds, it changes its color. Just make sure that before performing this trick, you hide some food coloring under the ice cubes. When the soda mixes with the paint, it magically turns blue, or green, or any other color you've picked. A pre-sliced banana. In front of your intrigued audience, you take a banana and peel it, only to reveal it's already sliced. How come? Before performing this magic trick, carefully stick a pin into an unpeeled banana and wiggle it back and forth, cutting several pieces. A levitation trick. With enough practice, you can make your friends believe that you can float in the air. The most important thing about this trick is the correct positioning of your body. Your audience should be standing behind you, so that they only see the side of one of your feet and both heels. If your position is correct, after you stand on the tiptoes of your hidden foot, everyone watching you will believe that you're floating above the ground. A snow queen illusion. Take a plastic or styrofoam cup and cover its bottom with a sponge. Then place several ice cubes on top of the sponge. Now you can invite your audience. In front of your friends, pour a bit of water into the cup. Blow on it, make several magical movements with your hands, and remember to say abracadabra. Then turn the cup and let the ice cubes fall out. By that time, the sponge will have already absorbed all the water. A levitating card trick. To begin with, place several fanned-out playing cards under your palm one by one. Then lift your hand, and your audience will let out a collective "ah" when they see the cards float up along with your hand. To perform this trick, you'll need to put on a ring on your middle finger. After that, carefully place a matchstick under the ring so that it's positioned along your finger. Every time you slide a card under your palm, make sure that its bottom side gets between the matchstick and your finger. Remember to press your fingers down against the cards as well. This way, they'll stay in position more firmly. Piercing your jaw with finger. At first sight, this trick looks terrifying, but it's only until you find out how to perform it. Put some flour and a bit of gelatin in 2 different bowls. Add some water to the gelatin and wait until it dissolves. You can help the process by stirring the mixture with a spoon. Start to add flour to the mixture, 1 spoonful after another. In the end, you'll get a pretty thick homogeneous mixture. Take some modeling clay and wrap it around your finger to make a mold. Make sure to seal all the holes and gaps. When the mold is ready, fill it with the mixture you've prepared in advance. Place the filled mold in the freezer and leave it there for several hours. Then carefully remove all the modeling clay. Give the artificial finger a natural look with the help of some makeup and use a fake nail to make it seem real. Now, to shock your friends, secretly put the artificial finger vertically in your open mouth, and the trick is ready. They're bound to believe that you've just pierced your jaw with your finger. Ooh. A card trick. This trick looks nothing but impressive. You have a plastic bag in your hand with a playing card inside. You shake the bag and voila! The card changes its suit. To prepare for this trick, take 2 playing cards of different suits and colors but of the same value and glue them back to back. Then put them in the plastic zip bag and start shaking. The main thing here is not to let your audience see the other side of the plastic bag. The transparent man. Imagine walking along a street one day and noticing a man with a transparent torso. You can look through him and see everything that's happening behind his back. How on earth is that possible? To perform this trick, the magician needs to use several gadgets. There's a camera on his back. This device is transmitting the picture to the TV screen securely fixed on the illusionist's chest. The only drawback of this trick, it can't surprise anyone but those who are right in front of the magician. Solid water. Magicians keep walking on water, be it the middle of the Thames or private swimming pools. Do they use special shoes? Invisible ropes? You won't understand this trick unless you know what to pay attention to. Illusionists use industrial-strength plexiglass platforms on long legs. These legs are also made from plexiglass. The platforms are put underwater and a magician's walking on them. The construction is completely invisible if you glance at it from a certain angle. It's impossible to detect it, and even a camera can't spot it. At the same time, the magician can see where to step. Sometimes this trick is performed in a swimming pool. Then the people inside are actors who pretend they don't see the glass. Water in midair. A performer takes a glass and fills it with water. After that, they cover the glass with a piece of ordinary cardboard and turn it upside down. Some water spills, but on the whole, the cardboard doesn't let the water escape, all thanks to the vacuum that appears inside. And then, the magician pulls the cardboard away, but the water stays inside the glass. The glass the illusionist uses isn't an ordinary one. It has a tiny hole drilled in its side right near the bottom. A casual onlooker can't notice this tiny opening. The second secret is a transparent plastic lid that is stuck to the cardboard. When the magician places the cardboard in place, they also cover the glass with the lid. It stays there as long as the performer closes the hole with their finger. As soon as the finger moves away from the opening, the water comes rushing out. A magic broomstick. Hey, I think my second-grade teacher rode to work on one of these. Hey, just kidding. Famous magicians can sometimes be seen outside flying their broomsticks. Magic or an illusion? Even if you come closer, you won't spot any harnesses, which means the magic cleaning tool isn't hanging in the air. But pay attention to how close to the ground the broom is. The secret of this trick is simple: a skateboard and a large mirror. The magician is riding the skateboard. All the while, he's holding the mirror on his left side, and a fake leg is dangling over it. From a distance, it looks as if the illusionist is actually flying through the air. A card through glass. A performer asks a person from the audience to pick a card from a deck. Then they should put it back without showing it to the magician. The illusionist tries to guess which card was chosen, but all the attempts are unsuccessful. Pretending to be furious, the magician throws the cards at the window. To the viewer's endless amazement, the very card that was picked before sticks to the glass. But the most shocking thing? It's on the other side of the window. To do this trick, the magician needs 2 identical card decks and 2 loyal assistants. Plus, the audience has to stand with their backs to the window. The performer asks to choose a card and, indeed, doesn't see which one gets picked. But the assistants notice everything. The one who's hiding behind the window sticks the needed card to the glass using some wax. So all the magician has to do is find the same card in the deck and hide it away. This way, nobody will notice there are, in fact, 2 identical cards. A floating man. You might have seen street performers who supposedly use magic to levitate in the air. Well, I have to tell you the truth, it's not sorcery that helps them sit on nothing for hours on end. This trick doesn't demand any effort from a performer. On the ground beneath them, there's a metal platform. It's covered with a small carpet. On one of its corners, there's a steel rod that sticks out. Connected with this metal bar, there's a chair-like construction. It looks as if it's hanging in the air. All this structure is hidden under the illusionist's baggy clothes. The only challenge they face is to sit still for such a long time. A steel straw. In this magic trick, a simple, flimsy plastic straw can get deep into or even through a potato or an apple. The only thing a magician has to do is to press on the straw. The audience is left wondering why the fragile thing doesn't bend or break at once. This trick is so simple you can easily repeat it. Grasp the straw so that you can cap its end with the thumb of your dominant hand. This way, you'll trap the air inside once the straw meets the hard surface of the fruit or veggie. It'll stiffen the thing and make it hard enough to pierce through. Once you let go of that straw, it'll become flexible again. Disappearing water. Tell your audience you know how to make water disappear. Take a cup one can't see through, pour some water inside, and wait for a few moments. After that, turn the cup over. Nothing's pouring out. The water has vanished. The trick lies in 1 tablespoon of sodium polyacrylate you put in the bottom of the cup in advance. The substance acts like a sponge. It will absorb the water and turn it into a solid gel. Just make sure not to let the audience see the insides of the cup before or after the trick. You can buy sodium polyacrylate at any hardware or gardening store. It can be sold as moisture-saving pellets. The same stuff is used in disposable diapers. Just tear one open and collect the liquid holding material. Oh, by the way, it's better to use a diaper that hasn't already been used. That can get really messy. Make sure you experiment before showing the trick to your friends. This way, you can test what amount of water you should pour into the cup so that it vanishes effectively. A coin in a bottle. Cut a vertical slit in the side of a regular plastic bottle. The slit should be just large enough to let a quarter slip through. It's better to use a bottle with ridges. They'll help you conceal all the modifications. Show your audience the bottle and the coin. Count to 3 and slap your coin-holding hand against the bottle, squeezing the coin inside. If you practice in advance, the spectators will only notice the coin magically appear inside the bottle. Pepper and water. Pour some water into a glass and sprinkle it with ground pepper so that all the surface is covered. Ask someone from the audience to dip their finger in the water so that the pepper separates. No one will be able to do it. Claim it's your turn and say an incantation. Then lower your own finger in the water. The pepper rushes to the outer edges of the glass. It looks like magic, but only because no one knows the secret of this trick. Before dipping your finger in the water, you need to cover it with a bit of soap or dishwashing liquid. A magnetic hand. Impress your audience by making a pencil or a pen stick to your palm. This trick is elementary, and everything you need to perform it is a wristwatch and 2 pencils. Put on the watch and place the end of the first pencil under its band on the inner side of your wrist. The other end of the pencil should reach the middle of the palm. Place the second pencil on the table. Grab the wrist with the watch on it with your other hand. Then put your hand palm down on top of the second pencil. With the help of the hand that's holding your wrist, slide the tip of the first pencil over the second one. Practice the move several times in advance to be subtle. Now you can lift your hand. The pencil will seem to have stuck to it. A sugar cube number. For this magic trick, you need a pencil, a sugar cube, and a glass of warm water. Ask a volunteer to pick a number from 1 to 10 and write it on the sugar cube in pencil. Then pick the cube up. While doing it, discreetly squeeze it against your thumb. The pencil core is made up of graphite, which sticks to human skin very well. The number will get transferred to your finger. Drop the sugar cube into the water and stir it until it melts. After that, tell your audience that after drinking the water, you will know the number picked by the volunteer. Sneak a peek at your thumb and take a sip. Now you're ready to shock the audience with the correct answer. Bottoms up! You ask a spectator to close their eyes. Then you lay out 16 different cards face up in 4 rows of 4 cards. Then you tell the viewer to open their eyes, but just for 1 second, and select 1 card. After that, the spectator closes their eyes again and only thinks about their chosen card. You say that now you will pick this card and replace it with another card. The viewer opens their eyes and sees that their card is not there. And here is the secret of this trick. When they close their eyes for the second time, You simply replace all 16 cards with completely new cards. The audience doesn't suspect that you changed the entire deck since they were only focused on one card. It's important to make the spectator choose a card as quickly as possible, so they don't look at the other ones. In this incredible trick, you're going to make a card change under the viewer's palm. The magician asks you to take out one card from the deck and remember it. Let's say you chose 10 of clubs and give it back to the magician. They hide their hands behind their back with all the cards. Then they show you the deck, holding it upright facing you. 6 of diamonds is what you're looking at. Is this your card? They ask. No. The magician removes this card from the deck and puts it face down on the table. They hide their hands behind their back again and then show you the deck facing you again. It's the Jack of Hearts. This is not your card either. The magician puts it face down on the table and hides the cards behind their back again. The third time, it's the wrong card again. They put the card face down and then point to the first card lying on the table. Is this your card? No. They turn it over and it's 6 of diamonds. They point to the next one. Is this your card? No. They turn over the card and it's the Jack of Hearts. Finally, they point to the third card. Is this your card? You know it's the wrong card again. The magician asks you to put your hand on this card and turn it over. You do and see the 10 of clubs, the same card that you picked at the beginning. And here's the reveal. The spectator chooses a card and gives it to you. You hide all the cards behind your back and put the chosen card on top of the deck face down. Then you show the deck to the viewer. Don't fan the cards out. You should hold the deck vertically between your thumb and the other fingers. The cards face the viewer. The chosen card is closer to you at the top of the deck, right? A wrong card is at the bottom and faces the viewer. They say it's not their card. You lower the deck down, pull out the wrong card, and put it on the table. Then you hide your hands behind your back and do the same thing. The third time, when you're hiding your hands, you replace the right card from top to bottom face down. And now put any wrong card on it. You show the deck to the viewer. They see the wrong card, but the right one is just behind. You lower the deck, pretending you're taking out the wrong card, but in fact, you're imperceptibly pulling out the right card face down. The viewer thinks that you've put the wrong card on the table and the right one's still not there. Now you ask the viewer to start turning the card over. Enjoy the audience's reaction. You're holding the deck in your hand facing you. There are 2 other cards in your other hand. You give them to the viewer. They need to remember these cards and quickly put them back in the middle of the deck. Then you throw the deck on the table with a quick movement. You have 2 cards in your hand, those that the viewer chose. Here's the explanation. Choose 2 pairs of cards similar to each other from the deck. It can be 10 with 9 of clubs and 10 with 9 of spades. Now put 9 of clubs at the bottom of the deck and 10 of spades on the top. All the cards face the same direction. Then hold the deck only with your thumb and index finger vertically, facing yourself. In the other hand, you have 10 of clubs and 9 of spades. You give them to the viewer. They should quickly look at the cards and squeeze them into the middle of the deck. When it's done, you just throw all the cards on the table, holding only those that you put at the bottom and on the top, the 9 of clubs and 10 of spades. These are not the cards that the viewer chose, but your friend won't notice the difference since the cards look similar. It's important that the viewer looks at the cards and squeezes them into the deck as quickly as possible. 4 aces. A viewer divides a deck of cards into 4 piles, then mixes them a little, and finds an ace on top of each pile. Look at the reveal. Put 4 aces on the top of the deck face down. The viewer shouldn't know the aces are there. Ask them to divide the deck into 4 equal piles. Keep them face down and don't mix. Watch the pile with the aces on the top carefully. Let's say this pile is on the far right. Ask the viewer to take one pile with no aces. Then ask them to take 3 cards off the top and put them on the bottom of the pile. Now the viewer needs to take 1 card from the top of the pile they're holding and put it onto each of the 3 other decks. Then they need to repeat this action with another pile with no aces. Pull 3 cards from top to bottom, take 1 card from the pile, and put it on each of the 3 other piles. Do the same with another pile that has no aces. Now, the final step. You have 3 piles with no aces that are mixed with random cards. The pile with aces has 3 random cards on the top, right? Now, ask the viewer to take this pile with aces and move 3 upper cards to the bottom. Ask them to take 1 card from the top and put it on each of the other piles. Now, each pile has aces on the top. Ask the viewer to turn the top cards over. Vanishing card. You show a viewer a card, holding it in one hand and covering half of it with your fingers. Then the card smoothly disappears in your hand. Here's the reveal. You need to take any card and fold it in half. Now bend the front folded part. Unfold the card. You have 2 folds on it. Hold the card in your left hand and cover the bottom fold with your fingers. Then pinch the bottom corner of the card with the fingers of your right hand and take them away. Pull the card down with your thumb. For viewers, it looks like the card is vanishing into nowhere. The easiest card trick. First, you need to fan out a deck of cards face down. Let your viewer pick any card. Ask them to remember this card and not show it to you. Now put the cards together and divide the deck in half. The viewer needs to put their card on the top of the bottom half in your right hand. Quickly and inconspicuously, look at the bottom card in the top half of your left hand and remember it. Put the top pile back on top of the bottom one. Now turn the deck and fan the cards out face up. Look at the cards and find the one that was on the bottom of the top half. The card that you remembered. The viewer's card is right beside it, right and closest to the bottom. Pick it up and amaze your friend. Reverse cards. You hold the deck of cards face down in your one hand. A viewer takes one card, remembers it, and puts it back in the middle of the deck. Then you clap on cards and flip the deck around in a moment. All cards face up except one that faces down. You turn it over, and this is the viewer's card. Here's the explanation. The deck faces down. Turn the very bottom card over. Now you have one card at the bottom that faces up, but the viewer doesn't know about that. Let your friend pick up one card from the middle. During the viewer's looking at the card, you flip the deck around. That face-up card is on the top now. The whole deck faces up, but the viewer doesn't know it since they see the top card that faces down. Then they put the chosen card into the middle of the deck. Now clap your other hand on the deck and slide the top card away. It seems like you flipped the whole deck in a moment. Now fan it out and find one turned card. It's the one they chose. Flip it over and amaze your viewer.
If you need to multiply some number from 1 to 10 by 9, you don't need anything but your hands. Place both palms before you and assign each finger a number, just like shown on the screen. If you need to multiply 3 by 9, bend finger number 3. On the right, you still have 7 unbent fingers. That's the first part of the answer. On the left, only 2 fingers are left unbent, and that's your second part. Voila! 9 times 3 equals 27. While in the previous example we could only multiply the first 10 digits by 9, now we'll do this trick with just about any number, and it's easy as pie. Take any random large number, like 1,250. Multiplying it by 9 in a conventional way without a calculator would take you some time. To make it simpler, just add a 0 at the end and subtract the original number. That makes it 12,500 minus 1,250 and equals 11,250. That's how quick it is. Now, let's take it a step further and learn to multiply any large numbers between each other. For this, we'll use a method taught in Japanese schools. Let's take 12 multiplied by 31 as an example. In this method, the numbers multiplied are represented by tens and ones. 12 will be 1 10 and 2 ones, and 31 will be 3 tens and a 1. Now, take a piece of paper and some colored pencils, ideally 4. We'll draw the numbers, making them visual. First, draw one diagonal line, left to right, going up. It will represent 10 in 12. Take another pencil and leave a gap below. Draw 2 more diagonal lines in parallel to the first one. This is our 12. For number 31, we'll draw some more diagonal lines. Only these ones will go in the opposite direction and cross our original lines. So, it's 3 lines left to right, going down, for 3 tens, and 1 more line with a gap above the first 3 for a 1. Don't forget to use differently colored pencils as well to avoid confusion while you're still not used to this method. Now you have a diamond shape made of intersecting lines. To calculate the result, count the times all the lines cross each other at each corner of the diamond and write down those numbers at each intersection. You should have 3 at the left corner of the diamond, 2 at the right corner, 1 at the top, and 6 at the bottom. Leaving the side corners alone for now. Add the top and bottom values together. That'll be 7. And if you now divide the diamond shape into 3 parts with vertical lines, you'll get your desired result, 372. There's a catch though. If you're trying to do it with numbers ending with 5 ones or more, you might get double-digit results when counting the intersections. So let's see how to deal with those, taking 25 multiplied by 37 as an example. So we draw 2 diagonal lines for 2 tens, and 5 more for 5 ones. That's 25 for us. Now, there are 3 crossing lines for 3 tens, and 7 more for 7 ones. And there's our 37. Now, we count the dots, 6 at the left corner of the diamond, 35 at the right corner. The times table will help you out a lot here to make it quick. Just multiply 5 by 7. 14 at the top and 15 at the bottom. A lot of double-digit numbers here. First, let's add the top and bottom results as we did last time. 14 plus 15 equals 29. Now we have 6, 29, and 35. Take the rightmost number and only leave the 5 in it, transferring the 3 to the middle number and adding it to the sum. You'll get 6, 32, and 5. Do the same with 32 now. Only leave the 2 and transfer the 3 to the left. Add it to the 6 and voila! You've got your answer. Check yourself with a calculator if you want, but 925 really is the correct result. And finally, the same method can be applied to even larger 3-digit numbers. Let's take 322 multiplied by 14 as an example. First, we draw 322 just as we did previously. Only now the hundreds are a separate set of diagonal lines. There will be 3, 2, and another 2. Next, add the crossing lines of 14, 1, and 4. You can see now we have not 3, but 4 sections, so let's count the dots. That's 3 in the leftmost section, 12 at the first top, 8 at the second top, 2 and 2 at the first and second bottom intersections, and 8 in the rightmost section. Adding the first top and bottom dots, we get 14, and adding the second ones, we get 10. And the result is 3, 14, 10, and 8. And now you already know what to do. Transfer the 1 from 10 left. Add it to 14. Then transfer the 1 from the resulting 15 left too. And here you go. 4,508 is your answer. The multiplication table ends with 10, and most people end up memorizing it sooner or later. But there's also a way to take it a step further and learn to multiply by 11 just as quickly. Let's take 34 as an example and multiply it by 11. First, separate the digits, making it 3 and 4 with a space between them. In that space, put the sum of these two digits. 3 plus 4 equals 7. That's your answer, 374. With some numbers, addition may result in a 2-digit number. That's the case with, say, 87. You'll get 8, 15, and 7. To get your actual result, add the first digit and the tens place of the sum, leaving the ones alone. That will be 8 plus 1, 5, and 7, which results in 957. If you know the multiplication table well enough, finding out percentages will be a piece of cake. The only downside of the following method is that it can only be used with round percentages of round numbers. But hey, that's already something. So if you want to find out 30% of 80, you just need to ditch the zeros and multiply the tens places of these two numbers. 3 multiplied by 8 will be 24. Same can be done with any rounded percentages and numbers. 60% of 30 will be 6 multiplied by 3, equaling 18. Now let's get back to simple multiplication again. We've covered multiplying by 11, but what about 15? Let's try it with multiplying 64 by 15. First, add a 0 to the first number, making it 640. Now divide it by 2, resulting in 320. And next, add the two numbers you've got, 640 plus 320 equals 960. You can verify it using the calculator, but the principle is easy to grasp. You first multiply your number by 10, then multiply it by 5, which is half of 10. Get it? And add those numbers. A similar method applies to multiplying any number by 20, 30, or any other round number. Let's say you want to multiply 41 by 30. First, add a 0 to your number, making it 410. Now, multiply it by 3, and you'll get 1,230. In fact, multiplication basically boils down to a number of additions performed in a row. Let's try multiplying 16 by 9. 16 is 2 times 8, which converts our task into 2 times 8 times 9. Since 8 times 9 will be 72, we just need to add 72 with another 72, which gives us 144. Let's take it up a notch and multiply two-digit numbers between each other, say 18 times 12. We can unfold these two numbers as 2 times 9 and 2 times 6. Next, multiply 9 and 6, resulting in 2 times 2 times 54. One step further and we get 2 times 108, which leaves us with 216. Subtracting can also be a headache with large numbers, but there's a simple trick to subtract any three-digit number from 1,000. Let's take 578 as an example. What you need to do is subtract the first digit from 9. 9 minus 5 equals 4. Now subtract the second digit from 9 as well. 9 minus 7 is 2. And finally, subtract the third digit from 10. 10 minus 8 gets you 2. Now, place your results together. 422 is your answer. The number of pi is infinite, and the digits after the point go in a seemingly random order, but there's a simple technique to memorize the first 6 of them. Say the phrase, "How I wish I could calculate pi," out loud or write it down. Now count the letters in each of the words, and you'll get the 3 and the first 6 digits after the decimal, 3.141592. You can multiply large numbers between each other in your head easily, but take note that this trick only works with numbers in the 90s. So let's say you want to multiply 93 by 96. Subtract either number from 100, getting you 7 and 4. Now add the two results, getting 11, and subtract it from 100 again, receiving 89. This is the first part of your answer. For the second part, multiply these two numbers instead of adding them. 7 times 4 equals 28. Put it next to 89 and your answer is just that, 8,928. Get ready for a new set of absolutely amazing optical illusions. Concentrate hard and don't let them trick you. Number 1. Look at these circles attentively, and you'll notice they're rotating. But that's just an illusion. The circles are completely still. Number 2. Which is bigger, the hat's height or its width? They're absolutely the same. Your eyes are playing tricks on you. Number 3. Which tower is leaning more? Ha! Look at that, they're the same. Even though one tower seems to be lopsided when placed next to a copy of itself, this is called the leaning tower illusion. Number 4. How many colors do you see in this image? However many you might see, in reality, there are only 3. Number 5. The patterns in this picture seem to be moving. But once you focus on one of the ovals, the whole image becomes still. Number 6. What do you see in this picture? A moving star? Well, the star part is correct, but in reality, it's a static image. Once again, if you concentrate on any of its parts, the picture will stop moving. Number 7. It seems as if there are 3 cylinders in this image, and they're all rotating. But you know what to do. Stare at the center of the picture and all the movement will stop. Number 8. Which pencil is longer? They are of the same length. Number 9. Can you find 3 animals in this picture? Three bunnies are hiding in the tree branches. Number 10. Look at this rotating thingy. There's no doubt it's a 3D image, but in reality, it's just a set of rotating figures that creates such a 3-dimensional effect. Number 11. Look at the screen and move your head forward and backward while focusing on the center of the image. When you come closer, the lines will seem to rotate counterclockwise. As soon as you start to move away from the image, the lines will rotate clockwise. Number 12. There is something hidden in this grid. Can you figure out what it is? If you can't spot it, try to shake your head, move further from the screen, or screw up your eyes. And just in case it hasn't helped either, let me make the grid less bright. Here we go. A lovely kitty. Number 14. Can you figure out which word is hidden here? That's bedside. Number 15. Look at this image and say which string is tied to the banana. I was almost sure it was string number 2, but in fact, that's the third one. Number 16. Which word is brighter? If you remove the grid, it'll become obvious that both words are of the same color. Number 17. Each horizontal band seems to be lighter in the middle and darker near the boundaries. But in reality, all of them are of a uniform shade. Number 18. Which line is longer, A or B? They're both of the same length. This illusion is created because your mind perceives this image in 3D space. That's why your brain tells you that the line which is closer to you must be shorter than the more distant one. Number 19. Are the woman's eyes of the same color? In fact, they are. You can make sure of it by comparing the color of her eyes and the hair accessory. Number 20. At first sight, it's just a red fan rotating over a bright green background. But try to concentrate on the black dot in the middle. You'll notice that the green under the fan is brighter than that of the surrounding ring, and the fan blades are actually redder than the central disc. Number 21. These two discs are pulsating, changing between dark and light. But are they doing it at the same time? Keep watching, and you'll see that it depends on the background. When it's light, the discs pulsate in sync. But when one part of the background is light and the other is dark, the discs seem to pulse not simultaneously. Number 22. Which word is hidden in this image? That's the word quality. Number 23. Which creature has a longer mouth, yellow or green? Their mouths are of the same length. Number 24. How about this picture? Which word does it hide? High five if you spotted the word quite. Number 25. That's how a set of simple straight lines can trick your brain. The square made up of vertical lines looks wider and shorter than the one formed of horizontal lines. Number 26. Look at this pyramid made of elongated diamonds. Are these diamonds darker at the top or at the bottom of the pyramid? All diamonds are identical, even though it surely doesn't look like that. But once we start moving around them, this way, and comparing them with one another, it becomes obvious. Number 27. Find 3 animals hidden in this image. Right you are. There are 3 foxes over there in the tree. Number 28. Look at the wheel moving behind the red picket fence. Its spokes seem to be bent at the bottom. There's nothing wrong with the wheel, and the spokes are perfectly straight. Want to make sure? Look, the fence is becoming transparent. Here you go. Number 29. Now, this wheel seems to be rotating clockwise, and the spokes are moving counterclockwise. But if you look at one of the spokes attentively, you'll notice it's actually staying in one place. Or rather, it makes a tiny shift forward and then returns to its place. Number 30. Which word is hidden in this image? It's feather. Number 31. What do you see in this picture? There's no definite answer here. Some people notice footprints, others 5 bowling pins. Number 32. How about this picture? Are those 3 pairs of alternating grooves and ridges? Or maybe you see 3 shiny oval tubes. The main trick is that the right side of the image looks like a folded surface and the left resembles the tubes. Number 33. Which word do you see here? It's the word change. Number 34. Look at the blue lines. They seem to be moving in pairs. And how about now? They suddenly form an outline of a diamond. Number 35. These wooden railroad tracks seem to be different in size. The lower one looks larger than the one at the top, but if we switch them, it becomes obvious that they're identical in size. Number 36. Do these horizontal lines seem parallel to you? And what if I tell you they are, and what you see is just an illusion? Number 37. Try to figure out which line is longer here. If your answer is, "Come on, I know they're of the same length," you're absolutely right. Number 38. Can you see anything unusual in this picture? There's a Dalmatian hiding here. Number 39. There seems to be a bulge in the middle of this checkerboard. But in reality, this checkerboard is regular, and each of its checks is perfectly square. You'll see it once we remove the tiny black and white ticks. Number 40. The blue horizontal stripes in this picture can't be parallel, right? But if we remove all the additional elements, it'll become apparent that the lines are not oblique.
Okay, focus on the middle of the blurry image and try to stare at it without blinking. After some time, you'll notice that the picture starts to fade away. This visual illusion is called the Troxler effect, or Troxler fading. Its main idea is that your neurons stop reacting to the stimuli that remain unchanged over a period of time. In this case, it's the blurry picture in the background. This results in the image disappearing from your consciousness. Look at these two tables. Are they different in shape and size? Most people will answer that they are, but in fact, they're exactly the same. Here, you can make sure yourself. You perceive the tables differently because your mind can't but make a 3D model out of the 2D picture. And then, it's all about perspective foreshortening. That's the visual effect when an object appears shorter than it is when it's angled towards you. Look at the white spot in the middle of the red circle. The longer you stare at it, the better. Soon after you start, you'll notice a thin ring of light. It'll surround the edges of the circle. Keep looking for some more time. Remember to keep your head perfectly still. After that, slowly move your head backward. Your eyes should remain glued to the dot at all times. The edges of the circle will soon start to glow bright cyan. If you continue to move your head back, the color will become brighter and brighter. The coolest thing about this illusion is that the ultra cyan you see isn't in your monitor's color palette. Concentrate on the cross in the middle of this moving image and look at it for a half a minute or so. You'll begin to see a green spot running around the circle. It seems to be erasing the magenta dots from the gray background. But once you move your eyes, the magenta spots are all there again. This phenomenon is also known as the lilac chaser illusion. Tile A on the checkerboard looks way darker than tile B. But if you look at the tiles independently, you can make sure they're actually exactly the same color. This illusion is a perfect example of how your brain uses its previous experience to interpret everything it sees. In the picture, some light is falling onto the surface, and there's also a cylinder that casts a shadow over the dark and light tiles. This fools your mind into believing that tile B is the lightest. When most people see this image, they immediately spot a triangle. It's formed by the three figures. Each of them looks like a pizza with a missing piece. This triangle also looks brighter than the background. In reality, though, there's no triangle, and the whole picture has the same brightness. This optical illusion proves that when a textured object is positioned against a plain background, it seems to be brighter and have more contrast. But if the background is also textured and high contrast, the object becomes less visible. Here, your brain works in a similar way it does when you see something from a distance or through the fog. Then, with a lack of light falling on your retina, your brain can interpret images incorrectly. The same happens with a low-contrast object on a gray background. Now, sit at a comfortable distance away from the screen. Then start to move closer toward the center of the image. You'll immediately notice that the white light in the middle expands and becomes brighter. Start moving back and forth. The image will keep changing, becoming dimmer and then lighter again. This phenomenon is known as the breathing light illusion. Look at this image attentively. You're likely to say that the black stripe lines up with the blue one, But in fact, the black line is connected with the red one. You see it once the part keeping the lines out of sight becomes transparent. This grid looks nice and even in the middle. Closer to the sides, though, it gets all messed up. But there's a way to fix it. Stare at the center of the grid. After some time, you'll notice that the edges have started to arrange themselves into a more regular pattern. Scientists aren't sure, but it might happen because your brain likes order. That's why it does everything possible to help you see the world in an orderly way. Now look at the black square crisscrossed with white perpendicular lines. The spots where the lines cross change their color from white to gray and back. When you focus on a particular spot, you see that it's white. But as soon as your attention wanders, the spot turns gray. This is called the Hermann grid illusion. And now, how about we take it one step further? This time, there are white dots placed at the intersection of gray lines. Look at this image attentively. You'll notice black dots that will start to pop up at the intersections. Plus, you're likely to perceive the dots as white at one moment, and then, almost immediately, you'll see them as black. When you look at this image, it may seem to you that the horizontal gray lines are slightly curved, but in reality, they're parallel. This illusion is possible thanks to the high contrast between the two different types of bricks, white and black. When your brain interprets the picture, it stretches dark zones into light ones. That's what causes the warping effect. The image you see is actually not animated. It's hard to believe, but choose a part of the picture and focus on it. You'll see that the dots have stopped moving. The movement you observe is an example of the phenomenon called the peripheral drift illusion. It happens because your brain needs different periods of time to process objects of different brightness. Look at the center of the screen. After several seconds, you'll notice that the flickering circles are moving, but in reality, they stay in one place. If you want some proof, try focusing on one of the circles and you'll see that it's stationary. This illusion is possible because that's how your brain interprets small changes in gradient. While looking at the picture, most people see a semi-transparent cyan circle. It overlays a part of the image. But guess what? There's no blue circle. This illusion is known as neon color spreading. It occurs because your brain gets tricked into adding some non-existent color to the image. In this picture, all the images look like a watercolor painting. But of course, it's just an illusion. There are no real shades here, only lines. This visual phenomenon is called the watercolor illusion. Good name. It occurs when a flat shape has a bright line as its border. An obligatory condition, this bright line should be accompanied by another. This one darker but of a complementary color. Your brain then automatically fills in the shape with the lighter color. What you see in this picture looks like a spiral disappearing into nowhere, right? Well, not exactly. That's your brain playing tricks on you. Try running your finger along the entire length of the spiral. Easier said than done. That's because the spiral isn't actually a spiral. It's a series of circles that have the same center. That's the Fraser spiral illusion. Because of the background pattern, your brain gets confused, and it ends up supplying you with the wrong information. When asked, you're likely to say that the vertical line is longer than the horizontal one, but they both are actually of the same length. This is a simple optical illusion called the vertical-horizontal illusion. The way the vertical line is positioned makes your brain believe that it's further from you, and thus it must be longer than the horizontal line. In this image, you see two orange circles. Each of them is surrounded by several gray circles. But in the first case, the gray circles are way larger than the orange one, and the second orange circle is accompanied by much smaller gray circles. You can't deny that the right orange circle seems to be bigger, but this is only, an illusion. It's based on your perception of relative size. Your brain gets tricked into believing that things are bigger when they're surrounded by smaller objects. What you see on the screen is known as the Necker cube. If you don't have any other visual cues, it's impossible to figure out the cube's true orientation. Sometimes it may seem that its front-facing side points toward the lower left, and in the next moment, you might realize it's oriented toward the top right. Watch the movement of the blue and yellow feet. They seem to step forward one by one. But try not looking at these stripes, but between them. You'll see they're actually moving simultaneously.
Did you know that you can actually inflate a balloon without using your lungs? All you need is a plastic bottle, vinegar, baking soda, a funnel, a rubber band, and a balloon, of course. First, pull some baking soda into the balloon using your funnel. And now, pour the vinegar into the bottle. You don't need a lot. Just fill about a third of the bottle. Let's go ahead and put the balloon over the bottle. But don't tip the soda inside the vinegar yet. Secure the balloon with a rubber band and tip it over to make the soda fall into the vinegar. And now you can step back and enjoy the show. When the baking soda and the vinegar are mixed together, they release CO2 that will inflate the balloon. You can use the inflated balloon to show your friends another trick. Grab a comb and rub it on the surface of the balloon. Now you can bend the water flow in your sink with static electricity using your brand new electrified comb. Just don't try brushing your hair. Can you really pierce a balloon without popping it? The answer is yes. You're gonna need a skewer or a long needle, a balloon, petroleum jelly, and some courage. Scratch the balloon with your fingers and make it more flexible. Now, blow steadily into the balloon. Stop before blowing it to the full size. This will make the trick easier to perform. Put some petroleum jelly on the needle. Now, find this darker area near the knot where the balloon is less stretched, and just pierce it all the way through the top, like this. Balloons are made up of polymer chains. They're so tiny that they seem invisible to the human eye. This trick works because the polymer chains are less stretched on the neck of the balloon. It was enough room to allow the needle in between the chains without breaking them. But if you try the same technique on the sides of the balloon, it will definitely pop. By the way, hairspray actually helps keep the air in the balloon longer by sealing the surface. But if you apply hairspray on the outside of the balloon and then touch it when it's not yet dry, the balloon will shrivel. Isn't it magic? Beware, our next trick can make you question gravity. Pour some plain water into a glass bottle. Not much, about a quarter. Put the bottle in the microwave for a minute. Meanwhile, prepare a bowl with colored water to make the trick more visual. Take the bottle out of the microwave, turn it upside down, and pour it into the colored water. The bottle will soon begin to fill with water. Can you guess why? The air expands when it's heated. The bottle and the air began to cool down, and the air contracted, which caused the water to move. Not only wizards can make things disappear. Fill a plastic container or transparent glass with sunflower oil. Dip a glass rod inside the oil. Can you see it now? Oil and glass bend light the same way because they have almost equal refractive indexes. Therefore, it's impossible to see how the wand bends light inside the oil. To make this trick even more epic, pour equal parts of water and oil inside a glass and dip the glass rod inside it. You'll see it in the water, but it will disappear inside the oil. Have you seen this epic instant freezing trick? Here's how you can repeat it at home. Grab a small plastic bottle of clean drinking water. Leave it for about 4 hours to bring it to room temperature. And now, put it into a freezer and wait for an hour and a half. After that, take it out very carefully. Try not to shake it at all. Now, hit the bottle strongly or shake it and see what happens. Not only is red cabbage rich in fiber and vitamins, but it's also pretty useful for homemade scientific experiments. Boil red cabbage in pure water and wait until the water gets colored. Red cabbage contains a chemical called anthocyanin. It changes color when it's mixed with an acid or a base. That's why if you mix your cabbage with water with different ingredients, you'll get different colors. Bases like soda will make it blue, but acids, on the contrary, will create reddish colors. You can prove it by adding some lemon juice to your cabbage water. the water will become pinkish. And if you add vinegar, you'll get an even more vibrant pink color. If you have a juicer, you can try the same experiment with red cabbage juice. Initially, it will have a more vivid purple color, but under the influence of additional liquids, the color will change. Can you guess which color you'll end up with if you mix cabbage juice with bleach? It's almost transparent, but still has a greenish-yellow tinge. The next trick is very trendy among artists. Here's what you're gonna need: liquid soap, cotton buds, milk, and acrylic paints. You can use food coloring for this tip. Pour a little bit of milk into a wide bowl or a plate. You don't need a lot. Then put a few drops of paint into the milk. And now dip a cotton bud covered with soap. The patterns will begin to change. That's because the fatty molecules in the milk get attracted to the molecules of soap. When you're satisfied with the pattern, you can put a sheet of paper on top of the milk. And voila! Your abstract masterpiece is ready. In fact, this technique is related to an ancient paper marbling called ebru. Artists created colorful patterns by sprinkling and brushing color pigments on a pan of oily water, and then transformed those patterns on paper. Friction helps people walk on the road instead of sliding on it, and it also allows us to perform this cool experiment called floating rice. Fill a small plastic bottle with rice. You can use a funnel to make the task easier. Shake the rice for a while, and now try to push a chopstick or a pencil inside the bottle. If you did everything right, the stick will get stuck in the rice. You can also try using different types of grains and see what happens. Have you ever tried to put an ice cube into oil? Well, you can try today. It will create these cute little drops that will fall into the bottom of the glass because they're heavier than oil. Here's an easy way to stick an ice cube to a string without any glue. Place an ice cube in water. Put a piece of string on top and sprinkle it with salt. You don't need much, otherwise the ice will dissolve. A pinch is enough. Wait for 1 minute and then gently pull the string. And there you go, the ice has stuck to the string. For this experiment, you're gonna need an empty, clean soda can. Turn on the kettle and wait until it begins to boil. Carefully hold the can over the kettle using kitchen tongs. It will help fill it with hot steam. When the can is full of steam, give it an ice bath. You can put it into a bowl with cold water and ice cubes. The can should wrinkle up right away. That's because the volume inside the can decreases, reducing its pressure and allowing the external pressure to crush the can. The next trick is also about air pressure. You're gonna need a glass bottle, a small piece of paper, a lighter, and a peeled boiled egg. The diameter of the bottleneck should be less than the width of the egg, and it's important to use glass because plastic can melt. Now carefully light the paper, let it burn a little bit, and drop it inside the bottle. Put the egg on the neck of the bottle. It should begin to bounce. And soon, the pressure of air will push the egg into the bottle.
Hey, let's bet I can guess your age in no time. It'll only take 6 simple steps. Get yourself a piece of paper, a pen, and a calculator. Ready? Then let's get it rolling. Number 1. Choose a number from 1 to 9. You can opt for your favorite one. Is it 3, 5, 25? Nah, just kidding here. Remember to write down the chosen number so that you don't forget it later. It's going to be X. Number 2. Multiply your number, which we've dubbed X, by 2. So, X multiplied by 2. Well, that's simple. I can do that without touching my calculator. Number 3. Now add 5 to your result. X multiplied by 2 plus 5, got it! What's next? Number 4. Multiply the number you've got by 50. Uh-oh, it's getting tough. Time to make use of that calculator. So you have X multiplied by 2 plus 5 multiplied by 50. Number 5. Now your birthday comes into play. If you've already celebrated it this year, add 1,770 to your final result. And if this awesome event is still ahead, Add 1,769. Number 6. Hopefully, you've got a 4-digit number. If not, something's gone wrong with your calculations. Try going through all the steps again. And the last task. You need to subtract the year of your birth from your final result. After you've done this, you're supposed to get a 3-digit number. The first digit is the number you chose at the beginning, and the following 2 digits are your age. If you haven't made any mistakes in your calculations, you'll have the right answer. Wow, I can't believe my eyes! How crazy is that? Let's go through all the steps together and check once again if it works. I'm going to pick one number from 1 to 9. My favorite one is 7, so that's what I'll choose. Now I'll multiply 7 by 2. 7 times 2 is 14. Let me add 5 to my result. 14 plus 5 equals 19. Give me a sec, I'll just grab my calculator. Here we go. 19 times 50 equals 950. I've already had my birthday party this year. This means I need to add 1,770 to 950. Done. That's 2,720. And finally, I subtract the year of my birth from the final result. 2,720 minus 1986 is 734. Amazing! 7 is the number I've chosen, and I'm indeed 34 years old. I wish. That's it for today. So hey, if you pacified your curiosity, then give the video a like and share it with your friends. Or if you want more, just click on these videos and stay on the bright side.
Have you ever wondered which fantasy creature is mostly linked to your personality? This quiz will spill the tea. Pick your answers and don't forget to count your score. The results will be waiting for you at the end of the video. Finally, your dreams come true. You got an invitation letter from a secret magic academy. Which design would you prefer? Option A adds 3 points to your score. B costs 2. Answer C is worth 1 point. D brings you 4 points. And option E costs 0 points. You've arrived at the academy. Time to choose your room. Option A brings you 1 point. B is worth 2 points. C brings you 0 points. Option D adds 4 points to your score. And E brings you 3 points. Which of your senses do you most rely on? Eyesight is worth 4 points. If you choose hearing, add 2 points to your score. Scent brings you 3 points. Touch is worth 0 points. And taste brings you 1 point. With whom would you rather pick as your roommate? A brings 3 points to your score. Answer B costs 1 point. C brings you 2 points. If you chose D, add 4 points to your basket. And E costs 0. Which combination seems more attractive to you? Earth plus fire brings you 4 points. Air plus water adds 1 point to your score. If you picked fire and water, grab 3 points. Water and earth cost 0, and the fire plus air combination brings you 2 points. The lessons begin. Time to choose your first school crush. Who would you rather fall in love with? Option A costs 0. B brings you 3 points. C costs 4 points. D brings you 2 points. And E is worth 1 point. Let's go to the school canteen. What would you like for lunch? A chocolate bar with coffee brings you 4 points. If you picked cherry pie, add 1 point to your score. Sandwiches cost 0 points. A burger with fries brings you 2 points. And if you choose the sushi set, grab 3 points. Suddenly, your crush offers to go for a walk. Where would you like to go? Option A adds 1 point to your score. B costs 3 points. Answer C is worth 4 points. D brings you 2 points. And option E costs 0 points. During your walk, you see a flower. Which one? Orchid costs 3 points. If you picked lilies, grab 1 point. Daisy brings you 2 points. Rose costs 4 points. And Peon adds 0 points to your score. Your teacher offers you 5 out-of-school activities. What would you rather choose? Choir brings you 3 points. Pottery costs 0. Dragon riding brings you 2 points. Drama club is worth 1 point. And fencing adds 4 points to your score. What's your weakness? If you picked arrogance, take 1 point. Anger brings you 2 points. Laziness is worth 0. Lust is worth 3 points. And cynicism is worth 4 points. Your first week at the Magic Academy is over. What would you like to do on the weekend? Hide from everyone and meditate. Just stay in my room and chill. Go on a date, obviously. Gather my new friends and watch movies. Hiking in the woods. A brings you 4 points. B costs 0 points. Answer C costs 3 points. D brings you 1 point. If you chose E, add 2 points to your basket. The school bully pulls a prank on you. How would you react? Just give me 5 minutes and he'll be my bestie. I'll just run to my room and cry. What bully? I'm the main bully here. Revenge is a dish better served cold. I'll figure out his weakness and use it against him. A costs 3 points. Answer B is worth 0. C is worth 2 points. D brings you 1 point. And E adds 4 points to your score. What magic discipline is likely to be your favorite? Option A costs 4 points. B brings you 3 points. C costs 2 points. D brings you 0 points. And E adds 1 point to your score. Which magic tool attracts you the most? Option A adds 2 points to your score. B costs 4 points. Answer C is worth 3 points. D brings you 1 point. And option E costs 0 points. You need to choose one of these 5 magical animals as your faculty mascot. Whom would you prefer? If you pick the serpent, take 1 point. The phoenix brings you 4 points. The unicorn is worth 2 points. The mermaid costs 3 points. And the dragon brings you 0 points. The Academy will soon host a masquerade ball. Which mask will you choose to wear? Venetian Classic brings you 3 points. The animal mask is worth 2 points. This creepy doctor mask is worth 1 point. Sad clown mask costs 0. And if you chose this cyberpunk option, add 4 points to your score. You enter a secret room by accident and face a magical mirror that reflects the dark side of one's soul. Which reflection looks like your inner bad guy? Option A is worth 0 points. B costs 3 points. And option C costs 4 points. Answer D is worth 1 point. E brings you 0 points. You enter the next room and see a mirror that reflects your biggest dream. Which one looks like yours? Option A adds 2 points to your score. B costs 3 points. Answer C is worth 1 point. D brings you 0 points. And option E costs 4 points. Ready for the results? Make sure to calculate your score correctly, and let's go! Congratulations! You have extraordinary mental abilities. You can read people like books. It's almost impossible to deceive you. That's why other people treat you with respect and admiration. Although your talent can make you a little cynical, don't rush to turn to the dark side. It's good to know everything, but leaving the door open to miracles is even better. People might surprise you in good ways too. If you got 45 to 60 points, ooh la la, you're a siren, a mysterious sea creature which can charm everyone with its singing. Your bright and sweet vibe can chase away all despair. People can't help but fall in love with you at first sight. That's why you shouldn't have problems with making friends or succeeding in your career. But remember, with great power comes great responsibility. You're blessed with the gift of a siren song to inspire others, not to manipulate them. You have a dual personality, just like a werewolf. On the one hand, you're a warm-hearted and charismatic person with a great sense of humor. But on the other hand, you can get really harsh if someone violates your boundaries or offends your family. Passion is your profession. You do things with genuine dedication, which helps you succeed in life. People perceive you as either a great, loving friend or as a dangerous enemy. You can easily be the soul of your tribe if you learn to control your instincts and show your teeth only when necessary. Vampires make the greatest leaders. Unlike most people, you realize the real worth of life force and time. This talent allows you to guide others towards higher productivity and joy. Your intuition always tells which project will flourish and which one will only drain your energy. That's why you act carefully and precisely like a surgeon. Friends might call you unpredictable and gloomy, but don't worry. They're in love with your sophisticated taste and independent personality. If your score is between 0 to 15 points, your mind is probably super peaceful and stable. You might take your time to make a decision, but when it's made, it's carved in stone. So if you ever feel stuck in life, just try new things and embrace the unknown. When it comes to group work, you're the person who makes things happen. That's why people see you as a loyal and trustworthy friend who's always there to support them and give wise advice. By the way, you can make a great principal of the Magic Academy. Think about it.
Hey, want to learn some magic? You won't become a Houdini or David Copperfield yet, but that's where the adventure starts. By the end of the video, you will know how to do 10 magic tricks. Best part about it is that you need nothing but your hands. You ready? We'll go from the simpler ones to cooler ones. Let's start with the basics. The most common trick is to make your thumb disappear and then put it back again. Look, I'll show you. Cool, huh? So let me teach you this now. The thing is that it's not one thumb, it's two. So hold your hand like this so that you can see your palm. Stretch the fingers, but put the thumb down below the line of your hand. Now use the other hand. Bend the thumb and attach it to the other hand this way. Place the index finger over so that you hide the gap. Now it looks like it's just one thumb, and that's the whole point. Now, when you move your hand from the front view, it will look like you pull half of the thumb away. Practice moving your hand to the side, back and forth, removing the thumb and putting it back. Once you put the thumb back, grab the original thumb and rotate it up. You'll have to train a bit to make it convincing, but you know the drill now. Practice makes perfect. Again, here's what it looks like. Another easy thing to learn is the illusion that you only have 4 fingers. Look, here they are. The thumb, the middle finger, the ring finger, and the pinky. There's no index finger. This is simple. Just bend your index finger and then cover it up with the other 3 in the thumb. And then just place your hand so that no one can see the other part of the finger that you couldn't cover. Easy peasy. Let's move on. Watch. The dot on the middle finger changes into a line. The key is that you should draw both of them, one on one edge of the finger and the other on the other edge. First, press your ring finger against the middle one and let it be just a bit above to hide the line. Put the index finger a bit below the middle finger's level to make the dot visible. So they see the dot. Then shake your hand. In that moment, change the position of the fingers. Now the one that was above hiding the line goes down to reveal it, while the other one that was revealing the dot should go higher to cover it up. Now they see the line instead. Now watch closely and try to figure out what's wrong. So I can twist the index finger around. What do you think is the catch here? I bet you think that I'm using the index finger of the other hand, but nope, not true. Things are way simpler here. Use a Sharpie's cap to put a circle print on the tip of your index finger. It kind of looks like a nail. So yeah, no other fingers required. People will just assume that's an actual nail. Now to how to turn your hands. Place the hand with the fake nail up front, so that the palm faces you and the nails face the spectator. Place the other hand over it this way, with the palm facing the spectator and the thumb going between the index finger and the middle finger. Close the hand and rotate it, so that the palm now faces the spectator. Open the fist so that the other fingers of the palm are covered. The fake nail will create an illusion that you twisted the index finger. Close the hand again and rotate one more time to twist the finger back to normal. Hey, look what I can do! Yeah, I can bend my pinky finger this much. Yeah, I do have bones there. It's just an illusion. Let me show you how to do this. With the palm of one of your hands facing the spectator, use the index finger of your other hand to push your pinky finger right in the middle. You should really focus on pushing its skin in particular because it helps the illusion. Then, using the thumb, push the top of the pinky down and a bit to the side. Together with pulled skin, it creates the illusion that you bend your pinky unnaturally. I can make my pinky shrink. And yeah, of course, I can make it grow back afterwards. It's easy to learn, so here's what I do. In reality, I just make it bend like this. To hide it, just put the thumb of the other hand over it and use your index finger to support the top part of the pinky from behind. Then just bend your pinky. The prolonged part of your thumb will cover the action. Then pull it back. Look, this one is cooler. This is way more visual, and it actually looks like magic. It requires some practice, but it's not too hard to learn, so let me teach you. First, you need to practice doing one thing, putting the tip of your pinky on the bottom knuckle of the ring finger. You should practice it until it starts to feel natural, because that's how you'll hide the pinky. Once you've learned that, you can move on to the next step, and that is placing your hand correctly for the spectator. The index finger is the front finger the spectator sees, and right after it comes the middle finger. These two should be placed below the ring finger so that the pinky can hide behind